something that would burn long enough, get hot enough. Those mountains back there, I can no longer see them. We're supposed to have snow tomorrow and Sunday, a big storm. It's been raining on and off, so everything's wet. So today's video, what I'm gonna try to do is go back here in the woods and try to get a fire started, make some coffee, and break down my in my last video my strap broke. I'm gonna go over what I carry, but more of how to pack a bag, how to choose a bag, and if you can't fit everything in your bag, how to get away with still carrying everything, or the majority of everything, or how to pick and choose correctly what to carry, what not to carry, since you have a smaller pack. So that being said, let's start hiking. The first thing I want to talk about is fire. Okay, that's what we're gonna do first. Fire. Again, everything is wet, damp. With the right methods, you can easily get a fire started in this kind of weather. Okay, it was on and off with the rain, and we have a cold breeze. I don't know if there was one last night, but we have a cold breeze throughout this whole day, and it's pretty cold. So anything that's exposed like this right here, it's off the ground. It did get wet with this right here, stuff like this. See how quickly, easily that breaks, right? We want to get stuff like that. Okay, I'm not gonna really look for firewood right now. I'm gonna get to my spot. So that wasn't bad. That's all you had with limited time. That would be better than nothing, honestly. But we're not going to use that. You could get it done, you could get it to work, but I want to look for something that already has cover above me, so it's limited effort and work on my end that I'd have to do to make it more comfortable. I'm gonna look for an area that already gives off somewhere where like a deer would lay, or an animal that's not harmful to me would reside for that night. And I already looked at the weather. I think around 6 o'clock this morning it was mid-high 30s. The last time I looked at the weather, I don't recall what time, but it was 40, 41, and there was no chances of rain or snow. It was just cloudy the whole day. So in a realistic situation, in this scenario, I'm not going to look at the weather. So your first protection would be your layers, your clothing. That's your first shelter. And you want to layer accordingly. Right now I'm already getting hot. So, but I know where I'm going, so I'll be okay. I'll look for something that's kind of flat. Like behind me, see how thick it is in there? It's thick. All that's thick. And over here, where I came from, is open. Right? I want to navigate towards thick cover. That's natural protection from the elements, right? And what I have, limited work, I can make it more homey, more comfortable, more waterproof. Little to no effort, so that's what we want. So check this spot out. Got me a nice rock. Seems like it's on a deer path, animal trail. There's a lot of deer that run back here, so I am on a funnel, but there's multiple ones around here, okay? My mission isn't to kill an animal. My mission is to create a fire, make some coffee, get out of the elements if it were to rain or snow. My clothing can, ride out through that if I have to, if I needed to. I have proper clothing to sustain myself out in the field for a long time, but if I don't need to, there's no need to wear out my gear if I don't have to, okay? Not hiding from anybody. I just want to get out of the elements, make some coffee, make a video, break down my kit. So there's no need to make it harder than it has to be, okay? That's the number one thing. Make it easy, all right? There's no bears around here. I'm not worried about being on animal trail with a fire. At nighttime, if I were to oversleep or overstay the night, they're not going to come around with a fire, okay? So, perfect spot is cypress tree or cedar tree. I think it's cypress, but it already has dead branches right here, right? Again, a little snap, they break off easy, right? That's what you want to hear. You want it to be brittle, and you want to hear a snap, okay? Dry snap. You also want to look to see if the wood is green, or if it's green, or if it's dry and brown. Also, break it in half. The most sensitive spot on your body is your face, where your cheek is. Put it right there. If you feel any kind of moisture, feels wet, then you know that's not good firewood. There's also this pine right here that broke. Right, that broke like nothing. So we got good fire starter right here. Perfect spot. All I want to do is sit up here under this beech tree. There's two of them right here. So I'm gonna sit right there, put my fire right there. I got rocks to make my fire pit, make me some coffee, and we'll get into this video. You saw that I got all my firewood in the same spot. Okay, I didn't have to wander out too far. I don't need to wander out too far. It's warming up. I already warmed my core temperature up quite a bit instead of starting off cold and shedding a layer like I'm supposed to. Closed canopy above me. If it were to rain, I got stuff to get me out of the rain or not get soaked, so I'm good. All I'm doing is creating a fire to make coffee. That is all. So this real tiny cypress twigs mixed with pine, the very small ones, the skinniest ones, I'm going to start off my fire with that, okay? We got the medium size because cold is not damp or wet. So if the ground were to be wet, I would get out my shamog and I would, or a cloth that I have, and I would put all my dry material or somewhat dry material onto the fabric so the wood doesn't soak up any moisture. Because the ground is moist, the ground does have moisture, I'm going to create a base. Then I'm going to create an A-frame. So there it is, there's my A-frame. Now what I'm going to do is grab, you see the difference between the really skinny stuff and then the pinky size or almost pinky sized? I don't want that yet. I want the smallest material that I can possibly get first. The skinniest, the littlest. That's what I want. Because it's damp around here. Everything's damp. Up high, stuff to dry out a little bit with the not getting hit as much with moisture with the rain, and also being able to dry out with the wind. So there's still a chance to fail with creating a fire, no matter what method you use. So for a higher chance of getting a fire, so I can get warm, make food, see at night, make some coffee in this case, do a fire signal. If I'm lost, I want to use the skinniest, smallest material that I can find that won't take long to dry out with the flame and will ignite as soon as it gets dried. Okay, that's why I want the skinniest frame, like so. Give that a little push down. Then I can go jump in my fire kit. There's multiple ways that I can get this fire started. Okay, I can try to make it harder than it has to be. In this case, we're not. I'm gonna use duct tape. That's all we're gonna use. Okay, 1, 2, rip it off. roll it thick so it doesn't burn as quick. Lighter. That's really all there's to it. Once this top opens up into a flame, I will add my next bundle. I have a big branch right here, right next to me. It's pine. Again, I'm making coffee, so I don't need a huge fire. I just need something that would burn long enough, get hot enough to boil water. That's all I really need. With a fire like that, keep on adding the small stuff, even if it's moist, even a little over thumb sized, even if it's moist. That's hot enough to dry that out. Then that will start to burst into a flame. I hear a deer right up here. I hear it snorting at me. If I was just up here training, I would go stalk it as long as I could. Even if I scared it off, I would stalk it as long as I could, try to work on my skills, getting within 50 yards maybe to get a shot. But I'm making a video, so I'll let that deer do whatever it's doing. All right. So we'll start with the outside, and then we'll go inward. Okay. So on the outside, I have my shelter. Snapped in on the side. Okay. Just put it back so I can show you. That's my shelter, just a simple tarp. Okay. On this side, I have, there's a little hill not too far that way, about maybe 80 yards going downhill. There's like a little cliff that I could train on rappelling off of, which is what I'm gonna do. That's why I brought it. I'll do that in the end. My rope is on the top of this. It was 150. I split it in half, and then it was a 75-foot rope, and then I split it in half again, and that was 37 or 30 something point something, and I have two of them, but I'm carrying one, so 30 something foot rope. I have my med kit on the outside of my pack. If it were up to me, this is very important. I do plan on getting another pack, so I would pack this inside my kit rather than leave it on the outside if I know it may come off if bumped or whatever, or I may lose my scissors. There's things I could do to assure that I don't lose my scissors, like how I done my tourniquet. put it in, put a rubber band, that's not going nowhere. With extensive force, it probably would. Do the same thing with my scissors. And then I have my canteen and then a life straw on the back of that canteen, okay? Then I have on this side my fire starter kit, okay? Again, the things that I'm probably going to use the most or more likely to use would be on the outside of my pack. Things that I would probably use in a dangerous situation would be easily accessible. In a downpour, I'll probably want those things like my tarp. I would want to use that in a situation where I absolutely need it. I want to have access to it without digging through my whole pack. My rope and my climbing system, I want to have access to that quickly so I don't have to dig through my whole pack. When you're packing your bag, don't pack it like this where it stands up. Turn it flatward, like flat on its back, and pack it like this. You'll see that you can fit stuff like it's a puzzle, like this. I have my thing to make coffee. I have my electronic kit. I have my wind breaker. I have rain gear, which I need to get a better rain jacket because this one it has reflective lighting on it. It's for people that ride bikes. They use this kind of rain gear, so I don't want to reflect in the woods if someone shines a light. I want to be hidden, so I need to get better rain gear, but this works for now. I have my shemagh. Okay, I have my Whoopee Swagman roll, and then I have base layers and other. I think I have a pair of pants in here. I got my level 2. I got an extra pair of socks. I have my base layers, bottom and top. I think that's it. Okay, all in this one pack. The next compartment, which would be the second biggest pack, same thing. You want to load it flat on its back so you can fit stuff in like it's a puzzle. Nothing in this empty space. I have a knife, a saw, food, extra bags for putting in dry material like fire starter stuff that I need or to carry more food, whatever. Some shears, or not shears, multi-tool cordage and stakes for my shelter. Here's a woodpecker over there. In this little pocket on the top, I just have a cloth for signaling if I'm lost or trying to get someone's attention from far away and they're with me. I can wave this, right? It's orange, nothing else besides these beach leaves right here. It's orange, but this is a way lighter orange than that. Pen and notes, directions, stuff like that, and a compass, okay? I can create my own map if I need to, locally or the area that I'll be in. To find a different area that you're going to go to that you don't know, you'll need an actual map. You can plot your coordinates and in the grid that you're going to be in, okay, if you're traversing the terrain. Now packing it back up again, like I said, that pocket's probably the easiest one. We'll start with the one that's the most difficult, which would be the main compartment. On this little side right here, it's just a balaclava and then a cotton beanie and gloves. How to pack all this stuff. With my other pack, I had, with my base layer, I carried more stuff, right? I could fit my rain pants inside my other kit. I could fit my level 5 inside my other kit. I could just fit more. I could carry more because it was a 75-liter pack. This is only 30. Yeah, 30-liter pack. Okay, Now, how do I get all this stuff in here? First, I put on what I'm not going to carry inside the pack, or I'll have to leave behind what I'm not going to carry inside the pack. So, what I ended up leaving would be my level 5. Well, you're carrying your level 5 today, so how are you leaving it behind? Okay, well, I would leave it behind if the weather would be in the 50s, and it's not going to get down into mid 30s or even low 40s or lower temperatures than that. Okay, it's going to be high 50s or 50 or 45 like it is now. There's no need to carry my level 5. My rain gear, my windbreaker can do plenty for me. Like today is a perfect example where I should have left it behind because it won't fit. When it comes to going to a smaller pack, this would be like a 24-hour pack or a sustained kit for 3 days maximum. If you if you don't know how to prolong your situation with like hunting and water catchment and all that stuff, this would probably be a 3-day minimum pack. In my case, this could sustain me in an environment like this for about a week comfortably. 2 weeks would be pushing it. Okay. You have to learn to be comfortable with being in an uncomfortable situation, and then when you're in an uncomfortable situation, you got to dig deep and rely on your knowledge of the land and use the equipment that you have to help aid you in that knowledge. Okay. The equipment can only do so much. When you run out of food, how are you going to get food? You need to know that. Okay. When you want to run out of water tablets to purify your water quickly, what do you know that could help you process the water so it's drinkable? You need to know that. So packing my kit and losing stuff out of the way, like in this right here, I'm only making a video. There was no need for me to carry this besides showing you what I carry if I were to come camp out here for an overnight. Okay, an overnight could easily turn into 2 nights or 3 nights. So that's the only reason why I carry this out. But realistically, I could have left it if I were not going to film a video and just do some repelling today. There'd be no need to carry this extra layers. But this would go in the very bottom, and this would go flat, as flat as I can get it. That creates my base. Okay, so when I lay it flat on its back, just like this. The next thing that I'm throwing in is my swag net roll. I could easily fold it up into the pouch that it goes into in itself, but it'll be too bulky and it will take up too much room. And it'll be like plain Tetris rather than just smashing stuff down so it fits. Again, when I said with my scissors, I need to fix that. And the reason why I put it in like this is because now I can push that down and create space when needed. The next thing that I'll put is my rain and my windbreaker. I'll put that on both sides and push it down as much as I can. The next thing, I'm about to make coffee, but I'll put my coffee right here. And I'll put my shamag below that. So we'll throw in the shamag right here. We'll just push it as far as we can get it. Coffee would go right there, push that down. The next thing would be my Next thing would be my electronic kit. Okay, so batteries, AAA, AA, two headlamps, um, portable charger, my cords to charge my phone, whatever else that I need to charge stuff would be in this. A dry bag, and I'll be at the very top. Okay. I forgot to say, but in this little pocket up here, all it is just camo. Okay, two different types. I'm almost running out of this one. This face paint comes off easily. This one though doesn't really come off that easy. Um, I like this one. On its back, push all that stuff down that I just put in there, and that gives me more space. Okay, again, it'll be my knife, my saw, cordage, and stakes. Tool. Extra dry bags. Food. In this case, the food would be stuff that's easy to eat. Fruits. I have tangerines in there. Protein bars, crackers, ramen, stuff that's easy to make. It can pack easily. Okay, nothing like eggs. I wouldn't want to put eggs in there. If I were going to put eggs in it, I would have a totally different setup that is literally for camping and to film a video. I would research my area very well. I would put a cutting board and then a cooking or a chopping knife. I'd have a pan, a bigger pan probably. I would have things that would make cooking a breeze. That would make filming my cooking a breeze. Okay, so I probably wouldn't just go out with a pack. I'd probably have 2 packs or something like that. Fire kit goes in the pouch. My repelling system and a climbing system. Short term, not long term, just to get up a hill or get a high advantage point to see out above the canopy, stuff like that would be on this side. Carabiners, all that stuff, ropes. My shelter for overnight or to get out of the elements if it's bad, I go on this side. My rope, the way I have it bundled is not how you typically have a bundle to just open it up and throw it off. I have it bundled so it fits my pack properly. It doesn't get in the way. That's the way I have it bundled. I'm about to go test it out right now, right? The importance of using your gear. How quick can I operate this equipment, open it up, tie off a anchoring point. I already know that this system that I have on my side right here, on the right side, I know that is already prepared where I can just put it on, connect myself to my rope, rappel down. This is good. This setup right here is what I don't know. How quickly can I get off of a hill if I have to with the way that it's tied up? Will it even work? Right? For space wise, yes. Just do that. The figure 8 that I have in here, that's not going nowhere. That's staying just like that. That's good. I like that. Right? But the functionality of it, how quickly can I access it? That's what we're going to learn today. Or I'm going to learn today. Things that I could have left behind. Let's talk about that. If I were to leave my base layers behind because I'm not staying out here, I could have packed my level 5. And that's what I probably should have done. Leave my base layers, my extra pair of pants, I could have left my level 2, my base layers. I could have taken that out. I could have left the level 2, the extra pair of pants, the extra socks, And the underwear, I could have left that in the kit, in that dry bag, just as is. Okay. I feel like that's more important. Extra clothing wise to carry would probably be socks and underwear, mainly socks. Even for a situation like this, to where I know where I am at, I actually don't need to carry all of that stuff, but I would probably keep in this kit for a day kit, a hiking kit. I know where I'm at. I would always keep extra socks and extra underwear just in case I were to get wet, and base layers just in case I were to get wet. Okay, that's probably the top three things. I don't need extra pants. I don't need, in this scenario, I don't need my binos. Okay, I could have left that too. I like to look out for animals and scan before I walk. That's training. So yeah, if I were to leave things that I don't need, I could have made this fit perfectly. Okay. Now, what to take away from this? Well, all the stuff that I was carrying for a while, and I was adding stuff in there, stuff in the kit, so it was a lot heavier than this one is. This is about 30 pounds maybe with everything. The other one was about 50, which is okay. I believe. I don't think that's that crazy. So the takeaways would be, what was in that 75-liter backpack that I absolutely didn't need. Okay, so I'm kind of thankful also too that that broke, and also because I can purchase another bag, not ones that I had my eye on for a while. And also building this out, building this kit, I can now go back to basics on what I absolutely need. I need water, I need shelter, I need fire, and I need food. That is literally all that I need. Anything else is for the task I'm going to be doing. Um, Fears that I'm probably going to be packing for, or we can take that out with the fears and we can replace the word preparation, being prepared, having extras. We can use that. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, in this case, because I didn't pack fears, but yeah, you need water, shelter, fire, food. I don't need coffee, but I do need a canteen. Okay, so this can purify my water, and it can also make food if I brought food that needs to be boiled. A plus side to it is the little container that I have that fits inside of this, and it takes up no space, takes up the same space. Well, without that, and then with this, that's about an inch, maybe inch and a half. That's not crazy. Okay, what I put inside of it adds weight, but it's not crazy. If I was not going to repel today to, again, figure out how this uncoils and work on some skills, if I wasn't going to do that today, there would be no need to pack the rope or the repelling equipment. If I'm not going to camp out here, there would be no need to pack extra layers to change into. Okay, the layers that I have on, a level 5 rain gear and a windbreaker, and plus what you have on, that is mainly all you really need. If the weather isn't terrible, you could be perfectly fine out here with tactical pants or work pants, and then your rain pants, which is this fleece on the inside, it's waterproof, and then an active base layer. I could put my level 2 on, but instead I put a CPU uniform on, knockoff, and then my fleece. Okay, I don't need a windbreaker. I don't need the rain gear if it's not going to rain, light, moderately, or hard. And I don't need my level 5 if it's not going to be cold enough to require the level 5. I could have also left my level 5 at home, right? There would be no need for me to carry this with me at all. unless I'm going to use it and apply it. So the takeaway that I've gotten from this making a new system would be taking out my um, bow drill. I had a bow drill. I took the bow drill out because it wouldn't fit. The next thing that I took out would be my half cut off fleece where I had the shoulders cut off. It was a zip up, a full zip, because this is annoying to put on. Only it's a half zip. But I took the other one out and I factored automatically factored to this one because this one is a little bit more thick. As the temperatures are getting colder, this is a little bit more thick. So to pack it in my kit, I would probably wear this. I'm gonna stay out. If I have to take it off, put it in my kit, it would fit. How to make it fit, but I cannot bring both. How I had my other big dry bag and I had a whole bunch of clothes in there. Um, yeah. So another thing too, the next thing I'm looking forward to do is purchasing a pack that is about 100 liters or 60 to 100 liters. Um, the reason why is because I want to be able to pack this bag itself inside that kit. So it works as if I'm out in the bush, whatever I'm doing, I have. First of all, let's go back to what my expertise is and what I try to work on professionally. Okay. I really go based off of what the military does, SEER school, what they do in their training, mountaineering training, backpackers and hikers do, because of getting lost into in the woods, because of snowstorms and ice storms and uh, power going out and no access to food and clean water and good shelter with floods, stuff like that, natural disasters. That's what I factor into, okay? Because if I can perfect and work on those skills to where they're at a pro level, I can now teach others, number one. I can also help others, number two, and I can protect myself and other people. Okay? So that's what I navigate towards. That's what I'm drawn towards. So I pack and work on skills like repelling, stuff like that, so on and so on. That's what I navigate towards. So that's why I would get a. You don't need it if you're going to be hiking and backpacking, right? But for what I want to do, this would be a 1 day kit or 3 day kit or go bag, and then my bigger backpack that could also fit all of this that I have plus more that I want to carry, and my pack itself it could fit inside that backpack as a being out in the bush, sustaining myself long term, and then if I have to leave my base camp where it is, carry my small 1 day kit or 3 day kit if I have to, um, with other forms of shelter and stuff like that, extras and spares to sustain myself on whatever mission that I'm doing. If I'm looking for somebody, if I'm whatever I'm doing, okay. So that's why I would carry that. What I learned from this would be what I don't need, honestly. Which one thing that I could say that I do not need would be my binos. In this scenario of coming up here, I absolutely don't need my binos in this scenario. Um, I brought them just to bring them, just to make the up here adding more weight, just make it more difficult. Really, a challenge is why I brought it. Um, Also, because I want to see, I want to sightsee, I want to train. So, but I absolutely don't need them in this scenario. I'm not gonna track any animals. I'm not gonna work on scouting skills. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm not gonna make an observation post. Okay, so I really don't need them. All I'm gonna do is make this video, make some coffee, and then go into my repelling system down that way. Oh yeah, and I hit the spot. I'm gonna clean up, leave no trace. I'm gonna head back down there, and we'll film my outro. Very easy to clean. Still got plenty enough for me. Pack out your own trash. So I don't want to waste water. So I'm gonna let that burn out real good. I'm gonna get some dirt right next to it, put it right on top of the ash, and then pretty much bury it. Throw the leaves on top of that. It should be dead. It's not gonna start again. The leaves are not gonna ignite and inflame and burn the whole forest down. Um, as long as I can just get it with just nothing but ash, there's no more wood. That's why I let it smoke out, smolder, and die. I should be fine. Ended up taking a leak on it, so worked out anyway. So I'm gonna do is bury it in the dirt, leave no trace, practice that, and then head down to this little hill and test out my repelling gear. Practice it before I lose it, and we'll end the video there. All I need is a live stick or a strong dead stick, right? Or a rock. Just dig some dirt. I was never here. Right, so this is definitely the steepest all through here. Definitely steep. And right here is steep right here. I got an anchor point, tie off point. Not this dead one, but the one behind it. Also, we got this spot right here. I've already got to the spot. Like, it's just a whole bunch of hills that go down. I'm just trying to look for the steepest and the longest one. Like, it's not 2-3 steps and I'm already touching the bottom. Which back there is steep, but I'll be down in no time. If it were to be snowing or wet or rocks or debris, it'd still be difficult to get down without a rope. So I might try this spot right here. This is the second best spot that I've seen. Right here. And keep everything natural. Don't move anything. Make it a little bit harder. Lower my backpack. Do 2 runs, lower my backpack, and lower myself. And then climb up with my backpack on, and then lower myself again with my backpack on. And retrieve my rope. And then that'll be it. Now over here too, oh, here we go. I didn't see this one. This one's perfect. It's not as steep, but it goes for a while. And I'll hop and like let a lot of rope out, so I'm not gonna walk, you know, all slow and crap. I think my fear of heights has been tamed. Or I just don't care anymore. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There we go. Tie off point would be this pine right here. Very sturdy. It's not dead. Just to save my rope, I'll remove this thorn vine. At least out of the way. And I'm gonna just charge my phone a little bit. Losing battery. I'm like at 7%. Charge my phone. I actually might go behind on this pine right here actually. This one. Just because I don't want to risk it with this vine. Messing up my rope. We'll deal with it. This is definitely the steepest part. Right here, straight in front of me. This is the steepest. But on this side, it's not as steep, but it goes further down. More time on the rope, more time with my gear. But I can easily walk that like nothing. So this would be difficult to walk. I can still do it, but it'll be difficult. Again, there's a branch in my way. I'm gonna go through those 2 trees right there. The branch breaks, it's poplar. Or I'll move it when I get down there. But I could go off of this one too in front of me. What is this? Sycamore? I think. I'm not sure. I'm still learning my trees. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm gonna start with my pack on. I'm gonna walk up to it like I just got here. The whole thing, and the point of doing this isn't to get used to repelling. I already know how. The point of this is, and I feel comfortable. The point of this is to, again, with how I have the rope coiled, how quickly can I open it up, access the rope? The that little bag right there. I already have my webbing to make a Swiss seat. I have all that figured out. I just don't have my rope figured out. I used to carry it open, how mountaineers carry it. They just place it over their backpack, strap it into their um, waist buckle. I don't want to do that. I don't mind doing it if I have to. I'll go back to that. But if this works, then I got my system figured out for me. Okay. Real quick, I'm ahead on the other side. I'm not going to go into a breakdown of what I'm doing to rappel down or what I'm using to rappel up or the systems that I have. If you want to see that, I'll make another in-depth video on rappelling. Let me know. Ow. Let me know. But all I want to get right now is just, again, the rope, the way I have it coiled. Just a video of me just walking down that hill, taking everything off that I need to take off, throw it down, come down, go back up, and then come back down again. Lower my pack, come down, go back up with my pack, touch the top, stand on the top, and then come back down again. Retrieve my rope, and then come up on this side, and then head back. Okay, instead of walking all the way around again. I'm gonna have everything on me. I changed off my fleece into my windbreaker. I'm gonna have my level 5 on the outside of my pack. I'm gonna have everything on me. The only thing that's gonna be on this side is my phone and my tripod, which hardly weighs anything. I'm gonna go down here and then go back up to show you that it can be done. It is difficult. I don't have a pack on. And if I had a pack, I could still do this, okay? It's not a dangerous hill. It's really hard to find hills that I can rappel off of, which would be really fun. We don't really have those around in this area, but enough said, let's get into it. right. So instead of lowering my backpack and then going down, getting my backpack, going back up, like I said I was gonna do, what I decided to do instead was, because it's not that difficult, and to challenge myself, I wanted to go with my backpack. As you can see, when I got between those bushes, it was giving me a run for my money. Get out with your gear and use your gear. I wouldn't have known that I would need to buy me another rope if I wouldn't have gone out and used this. If I were to take it on a trip or something and then I end up using it and I choose to go down the wrong path and there is nothing else that I could tie off to, it's just a cliff. There's no more trees hanging out of that cliff that are sturdy, or a boulder, or a roots from other trees. If there is nothing that I could tie off to again, well then I'm screwed. I have to go back up. I have to ascend back up, find another way around, or find a shorter way down. Important to walk out here and see that I'd never needed my binos, see that I never needed my base layers. I didn't need my level 2. I didn't need my extra pair of underwear. I would have just kept my socks. That's about it. I don't want to get blisters. Just change my socks to dry socks. Yeah. I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for the next one.